So we have to solve for this problem here. A equals to integral of negative pi over 4 all the way to 3 pi over 4 of exponential x cosine 2x dx, right? And then we got to use the integration by parts here. So integral of u prime of x times v of x dx equals to u of x times v of x minus integral of u of x times v prime of x dx. All right, so let's go right at it. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is to determine our v and our u prime. Okay, so let's go. So then our v is always going to be the function that will be easy to derive. Okay, so we're going to use exponential x in this case. So for exponential x, so the v prime is going to give us also exponential x. Now if we go to u prime, so u prime, then we have no choice but cosine 2x, all right? And then u is going to be 1 over 2 sine 2x, okay? Because remember, you can always check it. By finding the derivative of this one here should give you cosine 2x. If it's not, something is wrong. All right, so now let's apply the formula. So it's u times v. So a then, so that will be equal to u times v. So that means we have a half times exponential x. So I'm putting exponential x first. So sine 2x, okay? So that is over the range negative pi over 4 and then 3 pi over 4. Are you with me? Okay? Then minus the integral of u times v prime. So because we have the constant, I'm going to take the constant out. Okay? Always it makes your life a lot easier. Negative pi over 4 and then 3 pi over 4. All right? Of what? Of exponential x sine 2x. And then we carry the dx with us. Always important. So now we're going to solve for this one here. Let's go for it. So that will give us what? A half times exponential 3 pi over 4. Okay? Sine 2 times 3 pi over 4. Minus a half again times exponential then negative pi over 4 times sine 2 times negative pi over 4. And then minus 1 over 2. So now we're not going to put all of this again, just to carry the whole thing. So let's call it b because we're going to solve for it now. So once we have that, this one is in brackets just to make some separation here. So now let's calculate this one here. So 2, 4. That gives us 2 at the bottom. So sine of 3 pi over 2. Pi over 2 on top, negative 3 pi over 2 at the bottom. So sine of that is negative 1. So this one will give us negative 1 over 2 exponential 3 pi over 4. All right? And then for this one here, 2 and 4. So this one also is 2. So it's negative pi over 2. So sine of that, so pi over 2, negative pi over 2 is still the same one there. So sine of that is negative 1. Negative, that gives us what? Positive. 1 over 2 exponential negative pi over 4. All right, then we have minus 1 over 2b. Are you good so far? So that's what a is giving us, right? So this one is a. So once we come down here then, so we're going to solve for b. So b we said is equal to what? So b is equal to integral of negative pi over 4 all the way to 3 pi over 4 of exponential x sine 2x dx. All right? So that's what we have. So let's go for it. So we're going to do the integration by part again. So we're doing it second time. So we got to determine what is our v. V again here is exponential x, and v prime is also exponential x. And then u prime then is going to give us what? Sine 2x. So u is going to be then negative 1 over 2 cosine 2x. Again, you can always check this. Take this one, find the derivative, you should get this one back. If not, something is wrong. So let's go. So then b then is equal to, so u times v, so that's negative 1 over 2 exponential x times cosine 2x. All right? then minus, so we're going to have the integral after that, but minus and minus, that will give us what? Plus. So it's plus 1 over 2, okay? And then integral negative pi over 4, 3 pi over 4 of what? So u times v prime exponential x cosine 2x dx. And also, let's do not forget about this one here. Negative pi over 4 over 3 pi over 4. Okay? So that's what we have so far for the B, right? So what do we see here? So let me just give you a tip right away. So when you look at this problem here, that's the same thing as A, right? So that's a good thing. Let's go. So this one is equal to what? So if we solve for this one here, so that will give us negative 1 over 2, then exponential x cosine. So the x then becomes what? The x is 3 pi over 4. Okay, so that's cosine 3 pi over 4. All right. So minus, so the negative and negative will give us also plus here. 1 over 2 exponential negative pi over 4. And then cosine twice negative pi over 4. And then that will be plus what? So plus 1 over 2a, because remember, this is the same thing as that. That's why we're calling it a. All right, because that's a originally, correct? So now, if we come back here, then this one will give us what? So this one will give us 2, 4, that give us 2. Cosine 3 pi over 2 is 0. Okay, cosine 3 pi over 2 is 0. 0 times all that is 0. Plus, so this one, 4 and 2, 2. Cosine negative pi over 2 is going to give us 0. 0 times all of that is 0. So that is 0 here. And then plus 1 over 2a. So that is B. So that is crossed out, right? So then to finish with, because remember, a is what we're solving for, right? So a equals to what? A equals to this one here, negative 1 over 2 exponential 3 pi over 4, right? Plus 1 over 2 exponential negative pi over 4, okay? Minus 1 over 2 times b. b is 1 over 2a. Because we're following this, negative 1 over 2 times b. So that's what we have. So a is equal to what? So I can take out the half. And then I can rearrange this one. This one here, exponential negative pi over 4. Minus exponential 3 pi over 4. Okay? And then minus a quarter of a. So now, negative quarter of a has to be combined with a, 1a. So that will give us what? That will give us 5 over 4a equals to 1 over 2 exponential negative pi over 4 minus exponential 3 pi over 4. All right? And then we can just work this one out here. So a is then going to be 2/5 times exponential negative pi over 4 minus exponential 3 pi over 4. And ladies and gentlemen, you are finished with this problem here. Remember this one here, you just have to do what? Cross multiply, then that'll be 4 divided by 10, which is 2/5. All right? So we're good. Thank you.